the acquisition process, the process through which a child learns his or her first language. The linguistic repertoire of the child increases. With the age, the child's learning of language increases. He has more and more words. But is this uh, increase is due to the fact that the child is being taught a language or the child is acquiring the language? This is a very important difference. So, is the child being taught? That is the question. This idea is not really supported by what the child actually does. So, if we look at the child or we look at the children around us, we find that actually they do not acquire language through learning. They acquire language on their own. For the vast majority of children, no one provides any instruction on how to speak the language. Maybe for a few children, we can say that their parents are very concerned or the adults around them are very concerned, but the vast majority of children learn language in such situation in which we feel that people around them are interacting with them, but they are not very much onto it that they should teach language, or we can say that they are actually the children are actually being taught the language. Nor should we picture a little empty head gradually being filled with words and phrases, or we should not take it this way that the child, as he or she grows physically, his head is being filled with words, right? So this is not the situation too. A more accurate view would have the children actively constructing from what is said to them, possibly ways of using the language. So what actually can adult do for them is that they take the way language is used. So they take the ways of language used from the adults, but the acquiring process is what they do it themselves. The child linguistic production appears to be mostly a matter of trying out constructions and testing whether they work or not. So they try different constructions. Some of them work, some of them don't. So with this try and error method, they keep on learning language. A child is not simply imitating adult speech. So many studies have shown that during his or her learning process, a child does not imitate the speech of his elder. Sometimes he or she makes the speech of his or her own. So children hear and repeat version of what adults say on occasion. On some occasion, they do repeat the words being given to them by their adults. But at certain other occasions, they don't listen to the adults who are trying to teach them language or correct any of their linguistic mistake. Adults simply do not produce many of the expressions that turn up in children's speech. So this is most important. This is something which is creativity, or the creativity of the language, that children come up with such strange or such novel utterances which it is believed they have never heard. So from this point of view, this creativity point of view, we can say that children do not learn language or acquire language by being taught. They acquire language on their own. For example, we can have a conversation in which mother tries to teach the children the correct word, but the children is not ready to take it. For example, child, my teacher holded the baby rabbits and we patted them. So he's used this hold it. Mother, did you say your teacher held the baby rabbits? So she tries to make him understand the difference between the first form and the second form, right? The child, yes. Mother, what did you say she did? So the mother tries to be sure that the child now knows what actually is the right form. Child, she holded the baby rabbits and we patted them. But he is persistent for the word he has used or she has used. Mother, did you say she held them tightly? She again repeats so that at this point the child may take it correctly. But the child wants to have his or her own word. No, she holded them loosely. Right? So, from this we can understand that it's not the fact that children are being taught a language. Children acquire language on their own. One fact or that seems to be important in the child's acquisition process is the actual use of sound and word combinations, either in interaction with other or in word play alone. So what actually is the actual use of sound and word combination, the way he makes or she makes the combination of the word. So we cannot say that the increasing store of vocabulary in a child is because the child is being taught. Child does learn language from his surrounding, from the circumstances he or she is in, but they make their own learning. They acquire language. So this is very important to know the difference, that why they acquire language and why they are not taught language.